So that's what that light's for. You speed up over 5 miles an hour, the light goes back off. So it went into a regen, a rolling regen, and you didn't have to do anything. The other type is an active regen. That can happen one of two ways. One, you park the truck and put it in a parked regen. Or, let's say you're rolling along, you're not as heavy loaded, and you're not hitting as many hills, it's still building up soot, and the ECM is looking at the temperatures and it's not hot enough to burn the soot into ash. What it will do is go ahead and activate that downstream injector and put the lighter fluid on charcoal. It'll light it for you. Again, you didn't do nothing, you're just driving the truck. So it's trying to do it all by itself. The only way you'll know it did that is if you slow down under 5 miles an hour. DPF hot light comes on. Speed up, light goes back off. So you see, it's trying to take care of it for you. As we're rolling along, the truck, as soon as you start it, brand spanking new truck, it starts collecting soot into that DPF. We get to a low soot load, no recent regen, active or passive, we're still normal operation, the DPF is filled with soot, and a passive regen can occur. A passive regen can occur anytime there's soot in there. All we gotta do is get heat. Driver, let's drive the truck. But now we're going down the road and our DPF light comes on solid. When this happens, I have a moderate soot load. I'm up to 70%. I have no recent regen, still normal operation, DPF is filling with soot, a passive regen can occur, but here's why I need the driver's help. When that light comes on, it does not mean you have to pull over and do a parked regen. It means if you can alter the way you're driving, get the engine speed up, downshift a gear, hit some hills. Now, even if you're in stop and go traffic, if you're only doing 40 miles an hour, you can do the same thing. This system doesn't care how fast the truck is going, it cares about how hard is the engine working. So yeah, I can just get a low enough gear to get my RPM up around 1800 or so. So I'm going to put a lot of heat and a lot of air into that diesel particulate filter, and I can burn it off. And let's say I'm in stop and go traffic where it's challenging and I can't really get that to happen. If I keep driving, I'm going to get to level 2. Now my DPF light will start flashing. When it starts flashing, you're getting a more severe level, but you could still drive through it. All you got to do is get the RPM up, put the engine to work. You'll see that light go from flashing back to solid, and then it'll go off. As soon as it goes off, drive normal. Now, we go to level 3. Now I've got a flashing DPF, an upside down triangle, and an audible alarm. Now it's really trying to get your attention. At this point in time, this is your last chance to do a regen. Now you've got to do a parked regen. Reason, we have a full soot load and we have an engine derated. I don't have enough horsepower come out of the engine. The reason the engine is derated, the full soot load. Your muffler's stopped up, the catalytic converter is stopped up. So now I need to pull over and do a parked regen. If we don't do that, then we're going to go to level 4. Level 4, these lights go out, the red stop engine light comes on, and audible alarm. When you get to this one, that's time to hit the shoulder of the road because you're fixing to be shut down if you're not already. Power already has gotten so bad, if it's moving, it's barely moving. But when this happens, it's fixing to stop running altogether. Now, if we get to this level, let's talk about how long it takes to get your truck fixed. I see this all the time when it comes in the dealership. Now you have to do recording. They can hook up, and how long does it take a record to get to you?
It depends on where you at.
Forever, doesn't it? But it seems like.
It depends on where you at.
Yep. So, he gets your record in. Now, when they record at the dealership, do you see every mechanic come running out to you with wrenches in their hand? No. They tell the record driver, put it out there out of the way somewhere. When they finally get to it and bring it in the shop, here's what happens. That DPF has to come off of the truck now. They can't clean it on the truck. That takes 4 hours. They get it off, then it has to go into an oven. This oven has to cook it at 1300 degrees for 8 hours. When they put it in that oven, it takes an hour just to get up to 1300 degrees. Now it's got to cook for 8. Then when it turns off, it's got to cool down for another hour before you can touch it. That's 10 hours. That's gone. Then it comes out of there and it goes into another machine that shakes it and puffs air through it for 4 hours. That one they call the process shake and bake, but it's going to take all the ash out. That's what it's cleaning out. And then when it comes out, the technician is going to take 4 hours to put it back on your truck. Let's look at our timeline. You hit there one day, they get on it the next day. Then they pull the DPF off of it, and then they go put it in the oven. He ain't gonna think about it again. He comes in the next day, and hopefully he was able to get yours in the oven the day before, and he takes it out and he puts it in that other machine that's gonna shake it. That's gonna be 4 hours. He's gonna go find something else to do. So it's gonna do that all day. He'll come in the next morning and get it, start to put back on your truck, and he'll spend 4 hours putting it back together. So now you got 4 days that you've lost because the DPF stopped up. And the worst thing about it, this is avoidable if we just know what's going on. To do a regen, it's simple. Set the park brake, make sure the transmission's in neutral, the tailpipe is clear of all flammables. That's one thing I do want you to do. When you walk around your truck, when you pre-trip it, look at that exhaust. Have you ever seen one that came loose and it vibrated and turned?
No, I haven't.
You hadn't seen that? It won't work. Where's the exhaust point?
Towards the cab.
Towards the cab. See the cab burn?
Burn it up.
Ride it up. Yeah, what happens if it goes in a regen like that?
It catch fire. That fire.
It can catch fire. So I'm telling you, look at your exhaust. If it comes loose and it turns like that, that needs to be attended to.
Okay.
That is dangerous. So make sure your tailpipe is clear. Then you push the button and you go hands off. That's all you do.
Yeah, I've done that before. That Volvo.
Mm-hmm.
And then
The Volvo is a little different.
That region used to show me that little blinking puff of
Yep.
that little puff signal.
Yeah.
They tell me that it's
Now, if you touch anything, the accelerator, the brake, it comes out of the regen. It thinks you want to go down the road. That's all there is to it, as far as putting it in a regen. Worst thing is, this was all the training everybody got. They came out in 07, salesmen were as bad as the engine companies. Here's the keys to your new truck. Thank you for your business. Oh, by the way, you might want to look at that sun visor. There's some information for you up there. That's basically all the training you got. And that's not very good, is it? Basically, in a nutshell, level 1, the light comes on solid. You can still drive through that, but you do need to drive more aggressively to get the heat up. Level 2, that same light starts flashing.
So
Now,
you want to do a partial.
no, I can still drive through this
You
one.
can still drive.
Yeah, but my chances of driving through it are getting slimmer. If I go to level 3, now that light's flashing, I have the upside down triangle and an audible alarm. This is the one you just got to do a part 3 gen. You ain't going to drive through that one.
When the lights stay on and the arrows aim down,
Yep,
that's time to pull over.
the part 3 gen. Yep. Bite the bullet. You're going to be there an hour, but that's better than not doing it and getting wrecked.
Yeah.
Because this is the worst one. The red stop engine light, that means you got a serious problem. And this one's your friend. Thermometer looks like wind blowing through it. All that means everything's working fine, it's just hot. Now let's talk about our warning lights for just a minute. This upside down triangle is a check engine light. But also, if you have an ABS event, that light comes on. If you have an automated transmission that had a problem, a fault code, that light would come on.
The same yellow upside down triangle.
Yep. That's part of what they call OBD2 compliant. We had to have 3 engine warning lights. And that warning light, the triangle, comes on with any control module on the truck that has a fault code. The other one looks like a little engine. Did he give you that plastic handout that's got the dashboard on it?
Yeah.
That's it right there, ain't it? Yeah. Let's see. Number 8. That's the malfunction indicator light, MIL. That one, what it looks at is everything in the after treatment system. So if that comes on, it's a DOC temperature sensor or that differential pressure sensor, something like that has got a problem. Or the EGR valve, the throttle valve, all of those will trigger the MIL light. The one that is most serious is that red stop engine light. If it comes on, you have a real problem.
Okay.
Let's say you're going down the road, your check engine light comes on, what do?
I pull over and access the computers and just try to find out what fault is it Oh, tell me what's
If you look on the dash display, it'll tell you got an engine fault, that's all it'll tell you. So, here's the deal. There's so many sensors on these engines today. If you go down the road and you hit a bump and lose a connection from one about that long, it'll trip that light. You ever had a truck that the check engine light comes on, but you turn the key off and crank it back up and the light don't come back on?
Yeah.
That's because those codes will latch. When you lost connection, it set the code, but as soon as you turn the key off and turn it back on, it does another self-test. If it doesn't see a problem, it doesn't bring the light back on. There are times you'll be driving, the light will come on and go back off all by itself. Those were codes that whatever it was went back to working, but the ECM, as soon as it saw it, it just turned the light back off again, made the code go inactive. So there's so many sensors that it's possible a check engine light comes on and it's not going to have any effect on the ability to drive that truck. Here's the key though. You could have something important go on. That's when that red stop engine light's going to come on. The key about all this is common sense. If you're driving down the road and a check engine light comes on and you don't hear any unusual noises, you haven't lost any horsepower, you're good to go. Best thing you do is get it back here and let us fix it. We will take care of it. But what I'm saying is just because that check engine light doesn't mean you have to go straight to the dealership.
Yeah.
No. There's so many sensors that engine is well protected.
You can trigger it off.
Any questions?
No. No questions. One question I got. One. We went back on that part with the level 1, level 2, level 3. When I get to level 3, I need to be parked.
Yeah. Level 3?
The yellow. Level
3, you have the flashing light, the upside down triangle, and all the alarm.
Flash is not going to stay on, it's going to flash.
It's going to flash. It's going to start flashing here. So it comes on solid 1, and 2 it starts flashing, and 3 it's flashing, and you got an upside down triangle and audible alarm.
Okay.
So this is the one, your last chance to do a regen.